What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Scores! He did it again!
I just killed him. Before the game, I just killed John Madden because of a stink bomb.
Split special teamers, and now Brown is off to the races. Hurdles, kicks him in.
Giants are coming off a worse week than Harvey Weinstein.
That was the most exciting thing to happen tonight.
Game's over. Game is finally fucking be over.
Ed, you got to turn your mic on. I think. His hand on the button.
And now, our feature program.
Hey guys, how you doing tonight?
What is going on?
What's going over there?
Not too much. Not too bad. Chris, I bet you're happy after last night.
Oh, yeah. A little shocked, but happy.
Yeah, you were predicting a loss, if I do remember, earlier in the day.
I did. I was kind of shocked that they pulled it off and that they pulled it off in the fashion they did.
Yeah, that was a very interesting game, to say the least.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that in a few moments. Tonight's going to be a quick night because Nate has to get ready to head for his trip again.
Yeah, I'm so excited about it.
You got to get your beauty sleep.
Let me tell you.
He's so excited he just can't hide it.
I was ready. I was mentally prepared. Like this show wasn't gonna. Like I wasn't gonna go, and bam, this guy does his job really well, and now I'm going. I have to.
Well, because of that, it's got a quick show tonight, so we're going to cover a few things, very small, just the major stuff that I have questions for tonight. So let's start off with the NHL. So, after 14 seasons with the Bruins, Chara, who's 43 now, signed a one-year, $795,000 contract with the Washington Capitals as a free agent defenseman on Wednesday. Is anyone else surprised that the longtime captain is actually leaving the Bruins?
Nope.
You should have retired.
Why not, Jeremy? Why are you not surprised?
Because in the past few years, you can tell he's starting to slow down. The Bruins have been trying to push this younger kick. They want to push the younger players, and they would feel obligated if they kept him on the roster to keep him as a captain, to keep him on a first line, and he's not a first line defenseman anymore. He's at best a second, more likely a third, maybe even a fourth line defenseman.
Yeah.
The only reason he's so valuable to some people is because he has the long reach, because the long stick, and he's just tall as could be. But he's slower, he's older, he's not playing 30, 40 minutes a night. He's playing maybe 10. And I think the Bruins would have felt obligated to play him as a first-line defenseman and not move on from him if he was still on the roster.
Well, I know last year they did move him from the first line to the third line, and they cut down his playing time by quite a bit, and he didn't want to take on that role again this year, so that's why he decided to go with free agency and go somewhere else.
No,
tired.
He wanted to stay with the Bruins. The Bruins told him that they were going to go to a younger lineup, so his ability to actually play night to night would have probably not happened. It would have been like maybe 2 to 3 nights, every 2 to 3 games he'd play. So he wants to play still. So he went somewhere who probably guaranteed him, okay, you're going to be our third line defenseman. You're going to play every night.
Yeah. So Nate, what are you saying?
I think he just should have just retired. Retired as a Bruin, not go anywhere else, have his legacy while being a Bruin, and just kind of, had a good run and let it go.
I mean, $795,000 does speak, though.
Yes.
For 1 year, just to, That's pretty much the minimum they can do, though. Right. I'm just saying, though, like, the fact, even if you wanted to retire, okay, cool. Let me
make this bread real quick. And then
if the Bruins weren't going to match that for one season, why not move on, get some more money, and then call it a day? I mean, the thing is, the Bruins were his third team he played for.
Yeah. But it's where he made his name, I guess, would be a good way to put it.
That's where he became that's where he kind of made himself home and moved himself into that role of a dominating player.
It's just sad to see, considering we have had Mookie Betts go and go play somewhere else. We've had now Tom Brady leave and go play someplace else. We were hoping Charo would be a retiree, and I guess because he's not, it's hurtful towards the Bruin Nation.
Well, no, because 90% of Bruin Nations didn't want him on the ice last year.
Right,
They
we're all
said,
saying it's time for him to retire, not for him to go someplace else.
Guess what? If someone said, "Oh, hey, you should retire," well, guess what? It's not your current obligation to retire because they want you to.
Yeah,
it's their choice. He wants to keep playing. He's going to go somewhere if they'll pay him.
Well,
all right,
that's where we're at. So, Chris, you got some college stuff you wanted to talk about, right?
Yeah. All right. So before we get into the whole playoff picture, one of the big things that came out today actually was the University of Texas has fired head coach Tom Herman. He still had 3 years on his contract, and like Jeremy said before we went on, they had to pay out $15 million to buy his contract out. And that's not including the $10 million for his assistant coaches as well.
That is a pretty
$25 million to get rid of this dude.
That is a very pretty penny.
Rid of Herb pretty bad, huh?
Yeah. Well, so about an hour after they announced that they were firing Tom Herman, they announced that they were going to be hiring current Alabama offensive coordinator Steve Sarkisian, he was formerly the USC head coach. So Sarkisian is going to remain with Alabama through next week in the national championship game, and then we'll move on to the University of Texas.
Isn't that a little like, hey, my foot's already out the door, so it's not going to really matter if we win or lose next week? Isn't that like
I don't know.
Send like a little message to your players when you rather say, hey guys, let's hold off until after the last game, so that way my players play their heart out.
You would think, but then again, I think because Sarkisian was supposedly in the running for the Auburn head coaching position, he was in the running also for a couple other vacancies. So I think they already expected him to be leaving. So in college football, this happens all the time where right after the end of the season or towards the end of the season, even if you're playing in bowl games, because that's essentially what Tom Herman did, is he got hired when he left Ohio State, because he used to be Ohio State's OC the year that we won the national title in 2014. He was our OC, and he got hired at University of Houston as their head coach like the week before the game.
Yeah.
So, like, it's not uncommon in college football.
And it happens in pros, too. I mean, how many times do you see an offensive or defense coordinator, their teams are in the playoffs, and they get hired by a new team? It's known that he's the new head coach. It's just not officially announced till after the season.
Right, because it can't be officially announced until after the season is over anymore.
Exactly. With college,
because
it doesn't have that kind of rule.
They used to announce them when they decide, but I remember there was an issue where another team thought because their offensive coordinator had been announced that he was the head coach somewhere else, that he didn't care about the season anymore, so the guys just kind of quit on him, and they ended up losing a game and not making the playoffs or something. It was something along those lines. And so they put an end to that.
Yeah. So, with that, the national title game is set. Next week on the 11th, I believe at 8 o'clock on ESPN, is going to be the Alabama Crimson Tide against my Ohio State Buckeyes. The Buckeyes defeated Clemson 49-28 in a very shocking upset win. Nobody thought that they needed to be there. Nobody thought that they should have been there. And they came out and just absolutely, from start to finish, destroyed Clemson.
Yeah, what happened to Mr. going to be number one draft pick?
Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah, he's not looking so promising after last night.
Well, before that, I feel like the secondary favorite team of this podcast is Ohio State. So we all are rooting for you and your team.
Yes.
Right.
No, I'm rooting against you. Roll Tide.
I get to hear that all week.
I know it's
the Louisiana. The Raging Cajuns is our number one, but Ohio State is our second.
That's the shirt I meant to wear tonight, and I completely forgot.
It's okay.
I got a lot going on.
So
excuses.
I think if the team that showed up last night against Clemson shows up against Alabama, it will be an actual game. Right now, I think betting odds, I think it's a 7-point favorite is Alabama.
So you're saying I should drive up to New Hampshire and bet the $7 for Ohio State, right?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. That's that's a risky bet, $7. But there was a guy who had a $1.3 million bet that Ohio State would cover the spread.
Last night,
obviously they covered the spread.
Yeah.
And I think he walked away with like $2.43 million.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a little over. It was like 120%.
Yeah, something like that.
Or if you're 220, you get your money back and you double it and then a little extra.
Yeah.
Or no, 230. They were minus 230, I think it was.
Yeah. So.
Jeez.
But yeah. So. We'll see what happens next week. I'm kind of still a little bit in shock. I know you guys, with that targeting call last night, had a lot of questions like, what?
Yeah, so that targeting call, it was ridiculous how they pulled that out of there, because it's, I don't know,
So,
you don't watch calls very often. So when they said
It's
it was
just-
targeting, I was like looking at it, I'm like, but really, is it?
The only reason it was targeting is because he led with the crown of his helmet. That's the only reason. It didn't matter that he turned into it, because that's the same thing that happened with Shaun Wade last year, right?
Yep.
He led with the crown of his helmet, even though where he would have hit him would have been like in the side, and then Lawrence turned into him and caught it right in the face mask pretty much, because of the fact he essentially launched with the crown of his helmet is why it was considered targeting. So like everybody's been asking about that, and they pulled that NFL rules analyst, what's his name, Dean Blandino.
Yeah, I think so.
And he goes, this is targeting even in the NFL. He goes, you don't see it very often in the NFL, but even in the NFL, this would be called, a targeting unnecessary roughness penalty, because he led with the crown of his helmet.
Mm.
Yeah, so the rule book specifies, Article 3 of the rule book, no player shall target and make forcible contact against an opponent with the crown of his helmet. This foul requires that there be at least one indicator of targeting.
Yep.
And then the indicators of targeting are like 600 different things.
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those calls.
It's one of those, it could be very easily interpreted going, oh, yeah, it's targeting. Or, well, it could have been, but he didn't really mean to, so we're not going to call it.
I will say that since they initiated that targeting rule to now, it has gotten a lot better the way that they call it. But
oh yeah, it used to be really bad.
Yeah, like if you even came close to hitting somebody with your helmet, like you were gone. Like it was bad.
It's like the refs were calling it based on the reaction of how the player got hit and how quick he bounced up, instead of how the actual hit was performed.
Exactly. Now it
was more of a reactionary penalty they called instead of just a penalty.
Yeah, they actually take their time, and most of those calls,
don't
when
they have to review every targeting call now?
Yep, they review every targeting call. You can still get a 15-yard penalty for unnecessary roughness, and it not be targeting.
Yeah,
but they won't get ejected.
Yeah, because I was like, well, that's probably he gets one, and then if he gets another, he's rejected. But instant rejection, I was like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it can quickly change the defense pretty quickly if you have your star linebacker or something gets a targeting hit, and also especially if it's early in the game too.
Yeah.
So and like that's the thing, like the first half of the game, their starting safety was out because he got a targeting penalty in the second half of the ACC championship. So he was out the first half, and then this guy went out. So it just opened opportunities too for Ohio State. So
yeah, by the time he came back, it was too late.
Yeah. So, but that's all I got for college.
All right.
We got for the playoff pictures.
Well, we got a little NFL because there's all the reports of the teams sitting their starters. So you guys, if you were the coach, So we have the Chiefs are planning on sitting. I think it's Mahomes. Oh God, the receiver I had all year long,
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill, and somebody else they're planning on sitting, and like the Steelers are sitting Roethlisberger, and I think another
Watt, Hayward,
Yeah.
everybody's
There's-
sitting for the Steelers.
So
would
there's-
you
so
Journey, would you sit your players if you have a first round bye?
if I have a first round bye, no. Because how many times do we see players, they secured that first round bye, we'll give them week 17 off. All of a sudden, 2 weeks off, by the time they get rolling again, it could be too late, depending what team you play. Where if, like, the Steelers, who their bye week kind of got screwed up because of COVID early in the year, I'd say that's probably the better move because those guys need a week of just rest, and especially someone like Roethlisberger, he needs some time to rest and relax and step back before so he can get going into the postseason.
Yeah.
But if I had a first round bye, I would not be sitting my starters unless I'd sit them for the second half of the game. I'd still have them go through the full week of practice, do at least start the game, may play till halftime, and then call it.
I think the only way I'd sit one of the starters is like, say Mahomes, like he's got a nagging, like a little bit of a nagging like hamstring or something. I might sit him, if he's got something that I want to heal up fully, but I think I would do it more on a player by player basis, like what are their needs and how, but I'd also look at how does it affect the team.
Yeah. What about you, Nate?
I would play him till halftime, depending on how the game's going. If it's at the end of the first quarter and we're up 21 points, like, all right, you're dialed in, you're good. Let's go see what this other kid's got. And it also depends on position as well. Like Derrick Henry, we all know he's playing no matter what because he's going for, 2,000 yard rushing. But
yeah, something like that.
Think so.
I would definitely sit like my running back, my starting running back. I wouldn't start. I'd go second, third. Maybe bring somebody else in that can see how they do for the next season. Quarterback, halftime at best, and the rest of the special teams or specialty positions. I'd say a quarter maybe.
Yeah, quarter to half, and then. Besides especially once you pull the starting quarterback, your starting receivers don't really need to be in the game.
Yep.
They need timing with the starter. They don't need timing with the backup.
Yeah, and I think, during practice, your starters maybe take a little bit of a lighter seat, give them a little bit more extensive practice to the guys that are going to be playing from halftime beyond or, whatever quarter you decided on. But I think your starters that you're only going to play for a little bit, go over the game plan, maybe talk and walk it through, and then get more, practice on the other guys.
Almost use the starters as assistant coaches for assistant positional coaches.
That'd be a good idea, yeah.
But basically have them start that at least play the first quarter. That way they're not coming in out of 2 weeks, especially if they have 2 weeks off. Just
that's
going in.
What happened to Green
cold.
Bay? What 2-3 seasons ago?
And the Ravens last year.
Rodgers, quite a few other guys, and they sat them right before their bye week. Went to the bye week, and we got destroyed.
And it happened to the Ravens last year, where they sat all their good players, and then they came in and got just demolished by the Titans.
Yep.
I think if anybody's gonna sit their starters, it should be your 0-1 or 0-17, your 1 and whatever. Like those guys should be sitting their starters and then see how well their backups do against half of the time with their starting people. So at least that way who you need to keep for the next season and who really wasn't all that beneficial.
Well, speaking of people that aren't worth keeping or are worth keeping, Patriots. Since me and Jerry are both Patriots fans, Nate, you hate them pretty much with a passion, and Chris is indifferent.
I hate them less now that Brady's in Tampa.
Yeah.
What a catch.
That was, yeah. That's why.
So you're indifferent about it. So we have Cam Newton, who has proven that he's Cam Newton of old and not of what used to be. Cam Newton of now and not what he used to be. And we have this backup second-year rookie, basically, just sitting on the bench and only coming in and playing the second half of each game. Is it worth just sitting Cam Newton for this last week? Because it doesn't really matter. So we can see what this second-year guy is. That we see if it's worth keeping him a third year as a backup.
I was shaking my head no, but I think I don't know. So I think if the Patriots should keep Cam Newton, which I know is a major change from what I think I've said before, keep Cam Newton, sign him again to another 1-year deal, invest your money and go with your draft picks and get targets for Cam Newton to have. Establish a better running game. A tight end would be great in New England. I'm just saying.
Just so you're tracking, Nate, the projections that I've looked at for the Patriots first round pick, it's either the kid out of BYU. I've seen that. I've seen them also quarterback. Okay. And they've also talked about taking possibly Mac Jones out of Alabama.
Who is
and Saban
is Mac
Belichick
Jones also a QB?
Friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Mac Jones is a Heisman finalist.
Doesn't mean that New England can't draft a kid, but still keep Cam Newton. I'm telling you, if they had people that could actually help him a little bit, I think that would have been great.
No, because if you saw last game, Cam Newton was able to avoid the rush. He stepped up, and he threw to a wide-open receiver, and it landed about 10 yards before him on the ground.
Well, I'm also...
His shoulder, he was good at the beginning of the season, and I think the entirety of the season, it showed how bad his shoulder actually is.
I think
as the season went on, his throws got worse and worse and worse every week, even if the receiver was wide open.
Yeah.
So I'm still holding stock in the fact that this is all a ploy I get from Belichick to kind of stick it to Robert Kraft a little bit, and also manipulate the draft to get better positions for him.
Belichick is not the god of football here.
I think it's
coach.
all suspect. I think he's got something going on.
Wow, you are one of those crazy believers, apparently.
I mean,
apparently he believes in Bill.
Pretty impressive resume. Just saying.
He does, but Cam Newton, just the performance of Cam Newton showed he's not even worth the money that he's getting paid this year.
I think they need to keep him one more year.
I don't. I think if you look at Bill's record prior to being on the Patriots, it's going to be about 3 years before they're back competitive.
Yeah,
so,
but I don't know. I think
Bill turned the Browns into an 11-5 team within 3 years.
But
they were 5-1 before they got moved to Baltimore.
Well, let's play this out for a second. All right, you have Cam Newton. Granted, he didn't play overly well, but you know that you're going to be able to parlay him on the cheap, have good draft picks in the draft, and then you can draft the positions that you need to help your quarterback out. Because clearly, you all had the most people that sat out for COVID out of the entire league. So you're missing all those 8 players.
Yeah, but only 3 of them were starters, and one of them was a tight end that wasn't that good.
Yeah.
Still, semantics. They could have been helpful. You don't know how that wasn't good could have played out this year if the season went the way it went.
You mean if Cam could throw the ball not to the ground?
But see, and I think
something's up with his shoulder. I'm telling you,
but there was no
shoulder's
training.
done. He can't. It doesn't matter, training camp or whatnot.
I think
his throws at the beginning of the season were okay, and as the season went on, they got worse and worse every week.
But so
it's almost like
Jeremy,
let
him finish the thought.
If you keep Cam right for say 2 years, you still draft a kid in the draft, maybe a second rounder, third rounder, somebody that you can keep on your bench to develop without putting the pressure of him being the starter. And you have 2 years of Cam Newton, or even one more year. You have this young kid that you're not paying much because he's on a rookie salary. You draft all these other playmakers and build the team that can take the young kid. Or if Cam Newton, figures out how to play football again, then you have Cam Newton with another backup, and you can keep Newton on these 1 year deals to save money, which in return keeps your cap up a little bit higher, which allows you to refill your team where you're missing out. So I think you keep him at least one more year. You still draft a kid early on, second, third round, but you draft and build around the team of what you need. You need a tight end. I think your offensive line lost quite a few people.
No, we only have one.
Yeah, you guys don't really seem very stout on the line. It should also
we're
be
losing one guard.
okay.
ESPN has them taking an inside linebacker in the first round.
Of course.
Dylan Moses out of Alabama.
Not surprised.
But yeah, I mean, you have a decent.
We need
back
a quarterback.
core.
We need some receivers. So why would we take an offensive player?
But get a good couple running wide receivers, a good tight end. You know, a 70% good tight end. You know, you're not going to get a 95 or whatever, but a 70 is decent enough that can catch the ball and give outlet to your quarterbacks.
What are you referencing, Madden rankings?
I am absolutely. You can work with a 70.
But Nate, here's a better question for you. It's cheaper to keep to get rid of Cam and to keep Stidham if he's viable for those 2 years, and then get a first, second, or third round QB, get him ready, and use Stidham as the bridge guy instead. Why would we waste money on Cam if Stidham is going to actually produce those throws that Cam hasn't? And Stidham can move. He's not as fast as Cam, but Cam's not as fast as he used to be anyways. He's no longer that threat. It's just really that people think he's a threat, so because he can run the ball, but he's slow as molasses now. He's nowhere near. He's just a big dude.
He is, and I guess I didn't look into the financials of it, so I didn't know if it was cheaper. But again, if it was cheaper to keep him and not Stidham or those other guys that are back there,
Stidham, I think, was a third-round draft pick, and he's 2 years into his rookie contract.
He was a fourth-round draft pick.
Fourth-rounder.
Yeah,
and he's 2 years into it, so he has 2 years left on his contract. Yeah, at pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
So, and the other issue is if you're trying to go after any kind of free agent wide receivers, if you say, "Oh, Cam Newton's our quarterback," the receivers are going to go, "Well, he can't throw the ball. Why am I going to go there?"
Yeah.
Which is the issue we were dealing with when Brady was kind of getting towards the end of his contract. Was, well, is he going to be there another 3 years, or is he going to be there 1 year? No one knew, and that's why we lost out on some wide receivers that ended up choosing other places to go because they didn't know how long Brady was going to maintain playing there.
Well, the one last thing I want to say, and then we should move on, is if you're looking at people trying to bring him in, then what's to stop the Patriots from trying to go out and grab one of these known guys like Dalton, who's starting to kind of pull his head out of his ass a little bit, or another veteran?
Dalton's under. I thought Dalton had 2 or 3 year contract. I think they had an option.
Yeah, I mean,
and the only ones viable is the guy from Detroit.
No, he's still under contract.
Well, it's to be trades for picks basically because they still have contracts, and it'd be probably somebody.
Stafford.
Yeah, Stafford, and there was one. Who's the guy down in Florida, Miami? That now
Fitzmagic.
Yeah, Fitzmagic.
Fitzmagic has COVID.
Well, he won't have COVID next year, so. But those are the two. Like, if they were to bring in a new quarterback, those are the two leading talks about who they would bring in to possibly rebuild.
Let's move off to the NFL playoff picture.
All right, let's get to that, Nate.
Playoffs.
You said you updated this, right?
I did update it.
So for the AFC, who's clinched, the Chiefs 14-1. They have home field?
Yes, home field throughout the whole entire thing.
Okay, so that's what you guys were talking about earlier. Number 2, we have the Bills with a 12-3 in their first in the AFC East. The number 3 is the Pittsburgh Steelers, 12-3, and they are first in the AFC North. Teams that still have a chance. Number 4, you have the Titans, then the Dolphins, the Ravens, the Browns, and the Colts still have a chance?
The Colts have a chance. The other ones are in the hunt for the final spots.
Got it.
The Colts have a chance if somebody else, if the Ravens lose or the Browns lose. I don't remember how that exactly works.
And somebody gets pregnant at a specific hour.
And the Colts have to win, and another team has to lose.
Colts have to win. The Dolphins, the Titans, or the Ravens have to lose.
Yes.
I think that's the only way they get in.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah.
So now the ones that have no chance to worry about is the NFC, with the Packers at number 1 winning the NFC North. The Saints, number 2, NFC South winner. Number 3 is the Seattle Seahawks, NFC West. And the NFC South second place team at number 5 is the Buccaneers.
Those are all clinched.
Yep, those are all clinched. Looking at going to the ball, you have Washington at number 4, the Rams number 6, the Chicago Bears at number 7, and you're telling me there's a chance you have the Cardinals, the Cowboys, and the Giants at 13?
Yep.
Mark?
I don't think the Giants can.
No, they still have.
You just sit Rodgers for me this weekend, Nate, since you're an owner and everything, you know.
He's probably
so
not
the Cowboys are playing the Eagles, if I remember correctly. So if the Cowboys lose, the Giants win.
No, Cowboys are playing the Redskins.
Oh, so
Washington football team.
Yeah, so the Giants may not have a chance, but they.
Sorry, Dallas is playing the football team.
Right. The football team.
That's why.
So I don't know how accurate it was. That was the NFL.com. So the Giants may not really actually have a chance, but who got
unless the team's tied, they might have a tiebreaker if they tie or something.
There might be a tiebreaker for something. I don't know. But
all right, power rankings.
Chris, let's get to your power rankings.
All righty, at number 32, the Jacksonville Jaguars with a 1-14 record. At 31, the Detroit Lions at 5-10. They dropped from 29. The New York Jets moved up one to number 30 with a 2-13 record. At 29 is the Cincinnati Bengals at 4-10-1. They are up one from 30. At 28, you have the Houston Texans at 4-11. At 27, the Denver Broncos at 5-10. They are down 2 slots from 25. At 26 is Travis and Jeremy's New England Patriots at 6-9. They are down from 21. At number 25, the New York Giants at 5-10. They are down from number 19. The Philadelphia Eagles remain at number 24 at 4-10-1. At 23, the Minnesota Vikings at 6-9 dropped from number 20. At number 22, the Carolina Panthers at 5-10. They jumped up from 27. At number 21, the San Francisco 49ers at 6-9. They jumped up from 26. At number 20, up from 23, is the Atlanta Falcons at 4-11. And at number 19, the Las Vegas Raiders at 7-8 are down 1 slot from 18, while the Dallas Cowboys jumped from 22 to 18 with a 6-9 record. The Washington football team is at 17. They are down 2 slots from 15 with a 6-9 record. And at number 16, the Los Angeles Chargers, also at 6-9. They are up 1 from 17.
Okay, so Washington's playing the Eagles Sunday night, not the Cowboys. The Cowboys are playing the Giants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Right,
number 15 is Chris's Chicago Bears, 8-7. At number 14, the Arizona Cardinals are sitting at 8-7 as well. At 9-6, you have the number 13 Los Angeles Rams. Number 12, we have the Miami Dolphins, 10-5. The number 11, 10, 9, and 8 all have 10-5 records, which is the Tennessee Titans, Cleveland Browns, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. At number 7, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers with their 12-3. The number 6 is the Seattle Seahawks, 11-7. The Baltimore Ravens are 10-5, and the New Orleans Saints are at number 4 with 11-4. My Green Bay Packers are number 3 with a 12-3, while you have the Buffalo Bills at 12-3, and at number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs, 14-1.
How does it feel, Nate, to be outrated by the Buffalo Bills?
You know what? I'm okay with it because things happen in life. And you know what's pretty awesome though is this.
The belt staying at home.
I get to keep this for another season. You know, I thought about just wearing it all show long and be like, you know, a professional wrestler.
The champ is here.
Yeah, just talk with this whole thing the whole time because you know it is quite decoratable and fashionable and it's quite heavy.
Well, I think when the week after we all get together and we officially give them out, that's when you can wear them.
I still have to get them engraved actually and do some adjustments to the sacco.
So you're gonna go over the fantasy league winners for each level?
Did they get updated on here?
I have no idea. I think so.
Nope. I don't know. I didn't do it.
No, they
No.
didn't.
Who won the league and who?
All right,
won the second?
so taking first place was Joe Buck yourself. Taking second place was Mixing It Up. Taking third place was Dolph Fuckets. Number 4 was Oompa 31's team. You got in number 4 and you got out number 4.
Yep. I had a chance to win, and then Smitty just blew me out of the water.
Was Muppets number 5 or was Shamrockers?
Muppets.
So the Muppets is number 5.
Shamrockers.
The Shamrockers was number 6. Lieutenant Dan's Ladies and Edelman.
Yeah.
Is at 7.
She beat me.
He beat you. And Lieutenant Dan's Magic Legs is number 8. Then we had was Mixing It Up and all that stuff. Right?
Yeah, no, so Unavailable was 9, and Bad Juju still came out at number 10.
My bad. You guys weren't on here.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, we need to fix that for next season to where it's a full league playoff.
Yeah. We're having the summit, on the 24th?
I think that's when it is. Right, Jeremy?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's at your house. That's all we know.
Oh, thanks for the heads up.
most of the one who set it up.
Yeah, put it in we're having fantasy.
Yeah, because you got to somehow Skype me.
Yeah, we're going to Skype you in. Don't you worry.
Do you really think she tells me these things? She plans like she'll
You were
say,
in
oh, hey, they're here.
We'll know the morning of.
Do you really think I look at the group chats?
We'll have to hook the computer up to a bigger TV so that way we can all see you, Chris.
Which one? The 65 or the 70? Which TV you want?
Just the biggest TV you got.
I don't know if you want my face that big.
Well, that's also supposed to be the weekend of Clerks in the theater. Just saying.
Damn, that's going to be a busy-ass weekend.
We get to see each other all the time.
I'm getting sick of you guys.
Well, that's okay. So we're gonna stay on after this. We'll talk about that after. Let's get to our
only
picks.
19 minutes. Let's go.
Yeah, let's get to our picks real quick. So, our winner for last week was a 5-way tie between Jeremy, Chris, Smitty, Gail, and a Mo, with 11. Then we had Amanda with 9, and me and you, Nate, with 8 wins. So
somebody's got to bring up the rear.
Yeah, the Minnesota Vikings went down to New Orleans and got smacked around 52-33.
We don't need to go through all the games. We still have to make our picks for this week.
Let's move through the picks.
I think we got a little time. All right.
Now let's move through the picks.
Not for making picks. I don't have most picks yet. I'll have to have her message them later. But can we see the current overall for the seasons?
So,
yes, please.
The standings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the season-long standings.
Season-long standings, and Amanda's have been updated.
I don't know.
For
I was gonna say, I think I'm picking in a second.
Yeah, it's for the game she didn't pick. All right, so Chris, you're number 1 overall with 65%.
Oh.
Number 2 is Mo with 64.167%. Number 3 is Germany with 63.75%. At number 4, At number 4,
got me by 3, Chris.
Gail is at 62.911. Then we have Amanda at 61.345%. I am coming in next at 60.417%. At Smitty past Nate with 59.167% for number 7. And Nate is pulling up the rear at 58.333.
That just sucks.
Nate, who demolished me in picks last year, is losing to everybody this year.
I'll get back somewhere.
Next year, Nate.
I still have a chance, maybe.
No. Next year we're gonna go over how the spread works, and we're gonna pick against the spread every week based on what the spread is on that current day. Because the issue is the spread does fluctuate, so we got to pick it on that current day.
I'd rather just pick the teams, and that's what the national people, like just news people do.
Yeah, I'm good with the spread. I want to try my hand.
What we can do is we can do both. We can pick against the spread and just pick the team.
Because any gambler, where Nate always says, "Oh, the gambler, the odds makers, the guy, like the pros, their picks, those are based against the spread. Those aren't based straight up." Yeah. So going 65% is great, but if you're not going 65 against the spread, it means nothing.
Yeah, but you're picking them, even just picking them. Hell, nowadays on that thing for the Terry's Bradshaw's money or something like that. You just have to pick the correct game, I think it is, or something like that.
Game score.
Is it
So
game
it's
and, game and score.
Yeah,
So.
pick the score. Yeah, there's a lot. Those things are weird. There's
But
a lot
also
of things
the
in it.
spread thing, it would make this spreadsheet so much harder, and I think you would have to set it up, Jeremy, because you can pick a losing team. You can pick a losing team and still win.
Yeah.
So Nate,
okay, let's go.
Minnesota first game. Games are all on Sunday this week. The first game at 1:00. The Minnesota Vikings are at Detroit.
Minnesota might be better than Detroit at this one. That's actually a really hard pick.
That is.
Is it because Dalvin Cook's not playing?
There's a lot of people not playing in this game.
No, Dalvin Cook's not playing because his dad died or something.
When in doubt, go for the home team. I'm going to pick Detroit. I know I said
Detroit?
Vikings, but final answer Detroit.
Final answer Detroit.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Vikings anyways, so I'm going to go with them. Jordan, who you going with?
Going with Minnesota. They still feeling.
Chris, who you going with?
I'm going to jump on Nate's train and go with Detroit.
Okay, so that's one game.
We don't have Smitty's picks. I don't have Gail's picks. You don't have Mo's, and I bet you don't have Amanda's either, right?
Nope, it's just the four of us.
All right, so it's just the four of us. Next, we have the Atlanta Falcons, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I am going with the Bucks. Jeremy, who you going with?
I'm going with the Bucks.
I haven't seen any news about them.
Don't do it, Nate.
I kind of want to go. I kind of want to go to Atlanta though.
Chris, who you going with?
I'm going with the Bucks.
So Nate is going with Atlanta. Got it. Are ya?
Hang on. Does Tampa have anything to lose by losing?
No,
Yeah,
but
they could drop a seed.
Right, yeah, they could drop it from 5th down the instead of playing the worst team. Yeah, instead of playing the worst team in the standings, they could play the best team in the standings. Well, better team in the standings.
And the best team probably the Saints that they play first round. So they're probably going to try to avoid that at all costs for a while.
I'm going to go with the Falcons.
All right, so Jeremy, we got the New York Jets facing the New England Patriots.
I'm taking the Jets.
Taking the Jets. You know what?
What?
Reports as of right now say Cam Newton is going to start the game, so I am also going with the Jets. It's Chris's pick. Sorry. Chris, who you going with?
I'm going to go with the Jets, too. I was going to do it just to mess with you guys. But
Nate, who you going with?
I'm going with the Jets.
Nate.
I'm going with New England.
Nate is picking New England.
I'm going to throw a monkey wrench. I'm going to call the Jets, and I throw a monkey wrench.
Yeah, reports still have
like
Cam.
with
Reports still have Cam Newton starting, so I am also going with the Jets. Chris, you got the first pick. The Miami Dolphins are going to Buffalo. Ooh, that's going to be a tough game.
Buffalo.
Gonna take
Let's
Buffalo.
take Buffalo.
Nate, who you going with?
I hate to do it, Smitty, but I'm going with Buffalo on this one. And I feel like this might be a week that... No. I'm trying to think of his pick. I don't know if he would go with Miami or not.
No matter what this season, he has picked Miami. So he's going with Miami. I can fill in Miami, but and change it if he actually does change it. But he always picks Miami.
He does, but sometimes he won't. But I will say that I feel really bad for the kid from Hawaii having to go to upstate New York in January to play a football game outside.
Well, he might have to go back up there in a few weeks to play him again.
Yeah. So who you going with, Nate? Officially Buffalo?
Yeah.
Yeah, officially Buffalo?
Yes.
Okay. I am also going with Buffalo. Jerry, who you going with?
The Bills.
The Bills.
Did you see the reports? They're going to allow like 7,000 fans in the stands for their playoff game.
Something
like 6,700?
Yeah, it's just under 7,000 fans
in
the stands.
I think it's 6,700.
All right. So next we have the Pittsburgh Steelers going to the Browns, Nate.
This game's actually really hard.
The Browns?
Yeah.
Yeah, I said Browns all year.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I get to pick the Browns. I think there was 1 week I didn't pick them.
With the Steelers sitting Roethlisberger and they're having no run offense, I am going with the Browns. Jerry, who you going with?
More 2022 or 21.
I'm torn on this game because the Browns still don't have a receiver.
But they have Josh Gordon going against Doc Hodges there.
It's Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
Who's Josh Gordon? Josh Gordon plays for Seattle, but he can't
Oh,
stay
fucking
sober enough to.
the other guy.
You mean
Myles
the
Garrett.
Miles
Myles
Garrett?
Myles Garrett. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Miles Garrett and Mason Rudolph.
Mason
There, bud.
Rudolph.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rudolph.
yes. We
Rudolph
know what you're
Garrett.
trying to go with, but you
Thank you.
murdered it. But
Oh,
I'll go with the Browns.
but-
You're going with the
You saw
Browns.
Where I was going.
Yes, we
Chris,
know
who
where
you
you're trying
going
to
with?
go.
Knowing everybody that's sitting for the Steelers, like half their defense is sitting, so I'm gonna take the Browns.
Taking the Browns. All right, next I got first pick: the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. Oh, at the Giants. It's not
So
supposed
if
to be
the
pretty.
Giants lose and Washington, if the Giants win and Washington loses, the Giants are in the postseason. That's how they get in.
Ah.
I
So
went
the
and read the
Giants
whole
are
scenario
really
situation.
playing to win. Need to win.
So the Giants have to win, but so does Dallas.
Right.
Dallas needs to win and Washington needs to lose in order for them to get it.
You know, Dallas is all of a sudden just actually showed up. So I'm just gonna go with Dallas. Jared, who you going with?
I'm going with them boys.
Them boys. Chris, who you going
Nate.
with?
I'm gonna go with Dallas.
Is Nate the voice from above again?
Nate, we had 10 minutes. Nate, what happened?
Still here. Don't worry.
Oh, your video went.
It cut out. Yeah.
Yep.
All right,
You
Nate.
turned it off.
What are you going with? Cowboys or Giants? At
I know.
Giants.
I was listening to you guys banter back and forth. You all went with the Cowboys?
We did.
Okay, I'm going to go with the Giants.
Going with the Giants.
That was like a 50-50
That is.
point.
Where are they, anyways?
So next
That's going to be in New York.
Yeah, they're at the Giants. So next,
So,
Jeremy, you
What
have
is
the
that home team.
Baltimore Ravens at Cincinnati Bengals.
I'm taking the Ravens.
The Ravens. Chris, who you going with?
Ravens.
Ravens. Nate, who you going with? The Bengals?
Oh.
Nate.
Ravens or Bengals?
Ravens or Bengals? At Bengals.
Sorry, I accidentally muted you guys. Because I was getting Facebook messages and it kept binging. So I was like, oh, I'll just mute the computer. And I was like, I can't hear you.
Ravens or Bengals? They're at the
Are they
Bengals.
are they sitting Lamar Jackson?
I
No.
don't think so.
Baltimore.
I haven't heard
Baltimore?
Baltimore sitting anyone this year.
I am also
Because
going to
Baltimore needs to win in order to get in.
stay in. They're in right now. They need to
Yes,
win to
yeah.
stay in. Okay, I'm also going with Baltimore. All right, Chris, your turn. You got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Indianapolis Colts.
Colts.
Colts. Nate.
Same.
Same.
So part of me wants to go with the Jags because,
that would
it'd be
keep the Colts out of it.
Yeah.
I am also going with the Colts. They're fighting for their
Ditto.
lives.
There's going to be at
Ditto.
least two teams that are going to do something impactful that's going to fuck it over for somebody else.
Yeah. So the Tennessee Titans are down at Houston. This would fuck them up. If they lose, the Titans lose down in Houston.
Yeah, I think if the Titans lose, they're in theory out of the playoffs too.
You hear me making this pick?
No, this is you, Nate. You're the first one.
Oh, we went through Chris already?
Yeah.
I had the last one.
Titans.
Titans. 4:25 game. It's not that early. Well, it's not that late. I'm gonna go with the Titans on that one. Jared, who you going with?
Why does the time matter in that game? It's not a West Coast team or anything. It's the Titans.
It's Central and Mountain.
Yeah.
It's the Titans.
Chris.
Wait. What time zone is Tennessee in, bud?
No.
Part of the season Central, isn't it?
No, part of
Or
Tennessee's in the Eastern.
yeah. Well,
Nashville's in Central.
Yeah, it depends on where in Tennessee. Halfway through, it's kind of like Kentucky. Halfway through the state, it goes from
that's
Eastern
true.
to Central.
Mm-hmm.
same with Alabama too.
Chris.
Those stupid states.
Alabama, Georgia.
Tennessee.
Tennessee. All right, next. I got the first pick between the Arizona Cardinals and the Los Angeles Rams. Ooh. The
Arizona
Rams
needs
need
to win. LA needs to win.
Yeah.
I've heard is Goff out though?
Yeah.
Yes,
Goff's
Goff
out. He had thumb
is
surgery.
out. He's got some thumb surgery, so I ain't going
So
with
they're
the
gonna realize
Cardinals.
how overpaid he actually is.
I ain't gonna go with the Cardinals with him out. Journey, who you gonna go with?
Arizona.
Going with the Cardinals. Chris, who you going with?
Cardinals.
God damn it.
So Nate, you're going with the Rams, huh?
No, I'm going with the Cardinals. I
You
was
just
really
didn't
hoping
want-
that at least. I thought for sure Chris might have gone with the Rams.
You didn't want to be one of the sheep? Is that the problem?
No,
That's why I asked. I
the
thought I read something about Goff being out. That's why I asked that question.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to share that information until it was my turn to.
Chris has paid attention this year. Jeremy, you're the first pick. The New Orleans Saints are going up to Carolina.
Going up to Carolina?
Over. It's up and over.
Ooh. This game is interesting because the Saints still have no receivers active because of injury reserve list, and they just lost Kamara.
Yeah.
Saints don't have to win for anything.
If they win, they could take first place back as long as the
no.
If the Saints win, the Packers lose, they get first place back.
I thought the Packers had the tiebreaker.
Nope, the Saints do. Saints beat them earlier in
Green
this
Bay
year.
beat the Saints.
Yeah, Green Bay beat the Saints.
Then why was I hearing that if the Saints and the Packers are the same, have the tied score, the Saints end up winning and moving in back in the first place?
Semantics.
Anyhow,
Hold on, let me.
Who we picking?
I'm gonna go with the Saints.
Going with the Saints. Chris, who you going with?
You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go with Carolina.
Carolina to not even have a chance. Just to screw with the Saints. Nate, who you going with?
I'm going with Carolina.
Carolina.
I don't want the Saints.
Since
Carolina
mostly all of their starters are out, the
Yes.
Panthers should win this. They
Panthers
should.
to screw up with the Saints. I am also gonna go with. Would be an upset game, except for half of their team is out. Chris,
Their whole running back room's out apparently too.
Chris, you got the first pick between the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. The Bears.
You already know who I'm picking on that one.
The Bears.
The Bears.
If Chicago wins, they're in.
Yeah, it's true.
That's why I asked Nate, as an owner of the Green Bay Packers, to sit Aaron Rodgers for me.
Well, yeah, as long as the Bears win, they stay in, because right now they're in number 7. So, all right. So, Nate, who you going with?
Oh, you know who I'm going with.
The Bears.
Going for the Packers.
See, this is a tough game for me because I want the Bears to get in, but I also feel like Green Bay isn't gonna wait to pull out Aaron Rodgers until they're up by quite a bit.
Oh, so just to let you all know that Aaron Rodgers is 18-5 against the Bears, 19-5 including the 2010 NFC Championship game, with one of those losses. Yeah, but I was trying to figure out what his record is at Soldier Field.
Right, but is he still planned on playing the whole game?
I mean, I haven't heard anything saying that he's not.
All right, so I am going to go with the Packers. Jerry, who you going with?
I'm going with the Packers.
The Packers. All right. Nate, you have the first pick. The Los Angeles Chargers at the Chiefs, who are sitting almost everybody.
Yeah, I'd still almost give the benefit to the Chiefs, but whatever. Let's go with No, I'm going to go with the Chiefs. I can't pick LA Chargers. It's the Chiefs.
Jerry, who's the Chiefs backup QB?
Fuck if I know.
Isn't it?
He's an old guy. He's an older guy.
I don't think he's that old, but I think he's the same kind of running QB as Mahomes, like mobile QB.
No. He's older. He's been in the league for a while. Chad Henne.
Yeah.
Ooh, so it's not who I thought.
Oh,
it was.
he's garbage.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Chargers. The Chargers still trying to prove something, so I'm gonna go with the Chargers. Jared, who you going with?
Going with the LA Chargers.
Chris, who you going with?
Go with the Chargers.
He's going with the Chargers. Nate had the first pick, and he's the only awkward one of us all. All right. The Seattle Seahawks are going to San Fran. I am going to go... Oh, Seattle really doesn't have anything to play for. You know what? I'm going to go with San Fran because I have a feeling they're going to take their starters out halfway through the game. Jeremy, who you gonna go with?
I'm gonna go with Seattle because I don't think San Fran can even hang with their backups right now.
Chris, who you going with?
Seattle.
Nate is also going with Seattle.
Sure am.
All right, next you got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Denver Broncos. Jeremy.
Huh?
Las Vegas Raiders at the Denver Broncos.
I'm gonna take the Raiders.
The Raiders. Who you got, Chris?
I'm going to take Vegas.
Vegas. Nate, who you going with?
Vegas.
It's going to be a Vegas across the board. Last but not least, Chris. The Washington is going to Philly.
I'm going to take Philly.
Philly. Washington to be kicked out of the playoffs. Nate, who you going with?
Washington.
Washington. I am also going with Washington. They are fighting for that last playoff spot, especially since they are the football team. Jeremy, who you going with?
You know, I wasn't going to, but I'm going to take Washington because apparently Alex Smith is on schedule to start.
Ooh.
And they did also fire Dwayne Haskins over the past week.
Oh, they released him.
They released him, then his agent kicked to the curb too.
Oh, his agent left him. I just knew he separated ways. I didn't realize he.
Oh no! Basically, they released him and basically said, "You're fired. You lost a game we should have won."
Is there any more picks?
It was.
That's
it.
all the
Bye-bye,
picks,
Nate.
Nate. So you have a safe trip. We love you. Let us know when you get there.
Will do.
1 minute late. Sorry, Nate. Say hi to Smitty for us.
Will do.
All right, guys.
All right.
Bye, Nate.
Bye, Nate.
All right, guys. I don't think we have anything else to talk about, really. So let's get off of this and let's call it a short night.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all, folks.